Alright, it's been a while since we did a video on the car. I am done with the GTO, mostly. There's some little odds and ends things that need to be done. But I am not using the HTG. The HTG did not work even after switching to the E38 computer. It just wouldn't work. I could see the data, but I could not assign the data because of where the data was. So it sucks. But I switched to a Turbolamic. This Turbolamic's been great. So it's a Turbolamic. It's connected almost the same way as the HTG was. I had to undo my gas pedal modification because it can't do throttle blips, but it's fine. It has its own display that comes with it. It has an 8-position mode switch, and basically the only thing I've had as a struggle that wasn't the Turbolamic's fault was once I switched to the E38, it was a pain in the ass to find a tune file to put on the E38 that was right. Just this morning I put on one that was based on a 2007 CTSV, and that one seems to be right. So I haven't even driven it yet to see if it behaves correctly, because the torque calculations were all off. So the Turbolamic wasn't ever shifting quite right. Hopefully it shifts better now. But this Turbolamic is nice. So mode 1 is full automatic, but it's kind of automatic like in touring mode. You know, it's soft shifts, but it gets through all the gears. It's very nice. You put it in position 2, and it's a lot more of a sporty shift. So it waits longer for shifts. It shifts firmer. It's quite nice. And then 3 through 8 are progressively firmer shifts, but only in manual. So you switch it into those modes and it's all paddle. I think you can change it to be for those modes to also be automatic. I don't know yet. I don't know enough about the Turbolamic. I still have lots to learn. It's been a lot of fun driving it. Shifting with paddles is quite addicting. It doesn't quite shift as fast as I want, but there may be a setting for that, pressure change or something like that, to make it shift quicker. As far as like downshifts, because I could click the paddle and it'll do the first downshift, but like if I wanted to downshift like 3 gears, wham, 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 it does 1, 2, 3. And it's like, takes forever. I'm hoping it works out good though for an autocross transmission, because that's really what I want it for, but I don't think I'm going to be going through the gears quite that fast. One of the other nice features about the Turbolamic is the trans brake is just built into the controller. So the HTG, I had a arming switch and a trans brake button in the center console, so I could leave off of that. But on the Turbolamic, you just pull back the up paddle and hold it, and it says T-brake across the display. So that's quite convenient. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is the mode selector switch over here. This is the display for the transmission. So right now it's in 1. Click 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so let's start the car. Okay, so it's in park right now. It's in position 1. This is the transmission oil temperature. Now I'm gonna put it, so there's reverse, there's neutral, and then drive. So it always starts out in 2nd gear unless you paddle it down to 1st gear. And that's been both position 1 and position 2. So I'm gonna put this in mode 4, which is the one I like to paddle shift. Okay, so I put this in mode 4. Straighten the wheel out. So it's in mode 4. T-brake. See, my foot's off the gas. It's holding it in trans brake, and then I can give it gas. It's quite nice. And then I put it back in park. So this is what I had set up for trans brake, right? So it's red, it's off. It's green, it's on, and then trans brake. I'm gonna move it. I'm gonna move the paddle or the mode selector from over here to over here because I'm shifting so much, or playing with it so much, switching the modes a lot. Because sometimes I want it to drive aggressive, sometimes I don't want it to drive aggressive. You know, so that's just 1 and 2. But then if I want to drive in manual mode, I always use paddle or position 4. So one of the things I'm not necessarily too keen on or happy with is the way I put these paddles on. So as much as I wanted to keep a factory steering wheel, I think I'm going to end up switching to an aftermarket steering wheel with a lot more firm mount. Because you see, like, it's not the greatest. I mean, it's really firm when you're pulling back this way. It's not going anywhere. It's pretty solid. But it sticks out and it catches my legs if I pull my legs back at all. So I need to probably switch to an aftermarket steering wheel. Alright, well, let's go for a drive so you can see how that is. Okay, so we're going for a drive. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and that's just drive in mode 1. Drives quite nice. It drives better once I get a couple other things ironed out, but it's been great. This has really been great. Okay, so here's mode 2. Significantly faster to shift out of 6th to 7th, but it doesn't shift into 8th until basically expressway speeds. So it just lengthens out all the shifts, I'm assuming, to better anticipate like a full throttle or a more aggressive driving pattern, essentially. But at any point I can take control. So like right now it's in 7D. Click a paddle, it went down and went into manual mode. So the M stands for manual mode. And then if you leave it alone long enough, it will actually take itself back into auto mode. So I'm not going to touch any paddles. I'm about to make a turn and it'll start downshifting on its own because this transmission or this trans controller does that. Downshifting all by itself. Alright, and then it went back to drive. So I just took back control. See, it holds 6th for a while. Now the only other downside of this setup for me at this point in time is that after I set this up, I had a vibration, or have a vibration, and I couldn't figure out what that vibration was until I made a call to Seems Legit, and they told me that getting transmissions out of the junkyard, it's a possibility that you get one that has bent upper gears. And really, when you load up 6th gear, it vibrates a lot. And then 7th, it's still there, it's not as bad. But 8th, yeah, it's still there. So about 85, 90 mile an hour, you can still feel the vibration. So it seems as though I have to get another junkyard transmission to replace this one. Hopefully I can get one that maybe wasn't in a T-bone accident, because I'm guessing a T-bone accident is how that happened. So we will find out when I try for the next transmission. So we're in 6th and back in position 1 because I switched it back to 1. When you floor it, it's not the greatest at anticipation. So ready, floor. It took a second for it to get there. So you really have to anticipate if you're about to pass, or if you want to pass someone or get aggressive, you better just take control yourself, because it's not going to do it. Even in position 2, it's not that much quicker in anticipation. So you put it to the floor, the engine's ready to go, the transmission isn't where it needs to be yet. So it's been a great setup so far. Actually, this setup has made this car so much faster, just accelerating, than the 4-speed transmission, because it's always in the power. This is always in the power when you're going full throttle. So it made this thing wake up. This 6-liter deserved something better than a 4-speed, and it's been all smiles for me. Okay, so I guess now we're going to do a trans brake launch, because that's always fun. So I'm going to go over here, switch this to mode 4. So it's in 4. Now one of the cool features, like I mentioned already, kind of, it downshifts automatically when you start slowing down. You don't have to bang every downshift. It's kind of neat. So slow down right now. I won't even touch anything. There's 6. There's 5, there's 4, 3, and then 2. Now I want to do a trans brake launch out of 1st. There's 1st. Hold the paddle. It's in trans brake. Give it a little, and then go. Shifting with paddles is a fucking blast. Stop sign. Leave on 2nd. And I'm sure you can't hear that, but I'm in 6th right now, and as soon as I got into 6th, you could hear the vibration from the drive shaft, or from the transmission. So it'll be nice, hopefully soon, to get the transmission replaced with hopefully one that doesn't have a problem. But I can say that I'm very, very happy with how this 8HP shifts and drives. It made this car a lot quicker. I wanted it to give me better economy just because of the more gears, and it might through the middle, through the lower gears, but the final ratio for 8 versus the final ratio of 4th and overdrive on the 4L60, it's not much different, so I don't feel like it's going to help me that much. Eventually this thing needs a gear set, so that I can get closer to essentially the way that Dodge had their cars configured, with like I think they have a 309, and this has a 346. So I just need to get closer to a 3.0 than I am now, and I should be able to actually get economy and still keep the quickness, because first gear is so quick right now.